This is XTV exclusive. Hold on a second. This is XTV exclusive TV because we ain't got shit to do. And we're live with the legend, John Carter, the pirate ship. How's it going, sir?
It's going well, sire.
So, John Carter, the pirate ship, you debuted in 1995, and you were a part of the Dead Nation, along with the leader Dead of the said nation. What was life like before and during the time you entered XTV?
Well, I worked in a lumber yard with my father. He worked there for some years. I was born in a forest. We had a little shack in the forest, and that's where I lived. We lived there for quite some time. It was actually where all my family lived, and that's where I stayed. And my dad made ends meet by, like I said, doing like yard work within the village. This was in West Texas, and that's just how we survived. Before me, it was 7 kids he had, and each time the kids would turn 8 years old, they would all take part in his lumberyard business. And they would do various work, cut down cheap trees, and other different tasks within lumber work, and we would also build houses in the middle of the forest.
Oh, really? And would you say that you were financially stable?
Yes. We were well off financially. It's just we were middle class America. Back then, we just were very appreciative of what we had. It wasn't like we grew up broke. We knew what we didn't have, but we were thankful for what we had. And what we had was love for one another and appreciation of, hard work, dedication, and smiles on people's faces when we would do whatever lumber work that we had to do. Like I said, chopping down trees was one. A lot of times going to people's houses even, and getting rid of snakes and things like that. And, our dad would train us to, do that type of work. 1 second.
Okay.
And, the television would come on within the house, you know what I mean? And, I just liked wrestling, but I didn't like the actual in-ring sport of wrestling, I just liked the characters, they were just amazing. I thought the characters at the time in the late 80s, early 90s, I thought the characters were more interesting than the actual sport of wrestling. I just always felt that the in-ring was kind of, excuse me, no offense to, the homosexual community or anything, but I thought it was pretty gay, I didn't understand another grown adult in underwear hugging onto another adult, behind and saying, this is a bear hug, it's just backwards or whatever. I thought it was quite homoerotic. And, I didn't take, not that I don't respect that community, but I don't watch it. You know what I mean? And it made me uncomfortable a lot of the times. And who knows, a few years later, I put on the kilts and have myself a sword and would be doing the same type of performance. But, yeah, and just like that, and a fellow by the name of Billy Rojo, he was trying to get this SIDE thing started, and he contacted me. He says he wants me to team with somebody by the name of Dead. And let me just tell you about Dead. Scary person. Yes, scary person. I'm not really sure what Dead is. I don't know if he's really dead and he's really, really like that. I am not sure what it is. All I know is when he first introduced me to him, he just walked scary. It scared my mom. My mom is a very strong believer of the Christian faith. And well, she was really, terrified. And she was doing all kind of prayers and speaking in tongues, and because she really thought he was an evil spirit, walking around. And maybe he is, because I just seen strange things with him. And I introduced myself to him. I say, I am John Carter, the pirate ship. He says, your name? And I said, yes, I am John Carter, the pirate ship. And, he's like, you're accepted. Your soul's accepted. And he walks on. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. And I just knew I was in for a wild ride. So sorry if my voice has changed. I forgot how I talked. So you go into SIDE 95. Would you say 95? Oh, that's a fair assessment. 95, and what was the locker room life like, and what was it like being in SIDE? Quite an experience, A lot of us, when, SIDE started, we were quite new to everything. Like, it was just kind of like a bunch of random people thrown onto this product to see if it will work, if it will succeed. A lot of people didn't know each other, Flamindo, for instance, and Galen and all of them, they didn't know each other, but for some reason, they clicked, and, they got along, and of course they had various type of trouble over time, you know what I mean, the Flamindo Nation and all that. But, it was just kind of weird. Everybody was weirded out by each other because nobody knew each other. We were all just chosen, and lucky to be chosen at, something like this, because not that, I was having a rough life prior to SIDE, but it's just, boom, you're here, you know what I mean? And I didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to make friends. Dad was just, a guy that would just come up to us and read scriptures, weird scriptures, I don't even know where most of them were from. It'd be like, peace lies within until death consumes it. In peace no longer lies within, it is given to where peace was laid. You know what I mean? And then just shut the book, you know. And he wasn't much for a conversation. This is not a shoot. I'm not insulting Dad. It's just he was like that, you know what I mean? It was bizarre, quite bizarre behavior from the fellow. But, you know, I just kind of kept my distance a lot of the times. I didn't know what was going on.
Would you consider yourself, John Carter, a strong believer in the Christian faith as well? Because you mentioned that your mother was strong in the Christian faith, but would you say, if you did grow up around that, did that test your religious belief?
Quite sometimes, yes, that's a fair assessment. Quite sometimes it did. Uh, because I just don't understand, and still to this day, a lot of times I'm conflicted. I just don't understand how you could make someone exist, and cause it's obvious. People like Dad, and even Flamingo, and other people to some extent have been damaged by life. I don't understand how you can allow so much damage, on a person that you love. I just don't understand, so much hurt. And then at the end of the day you say, "Oh, I love you," though. It's quite hard to believe. You know what I mean? Because all of the hate you have allowed doesn't show a lot of love. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe it's something I gotta learn over time. But I just didn't understand it. I didn't blame Dad for who he was. Didn't blame Flamingo for who he was. They're results of whatever environment they grew in, and as a result, they are who they are. I'm fortunate enough to not be that way. But it's just something. Yeah, I did have quite trouble adjusting to it. Because it was quite strange behavior going on. I mean, you had the gangsters, and you had the I don't know what Dad is, and other different people. I guess the most innocent person was a girl I eventually got involved with, quite controversial, but it was Ashley.
Oh, Ashley from Ashley.
Yes. She had very large teeth. Which I found a unique feature within her face. And, me being just a very curious young man, I was well into my 30s actually around the time. And just me being very curious, I say, how is life with such large teeth? And I wasn't being insulting. I just thought it was unique that a woman had such large teeth. You know what I mean? They were so large. I say, how do you eat a cheeseburger? How do you eat spaghetti? How do you eat? And she just ate a cheeseburger and giggled. And that really turned me on, the way she ate a cheeseburger. And for quite some time after she bit into the cheeseburger, I grew a cheeseburger fetish, which lasted quite some time.
A cheeseburger fetish? What would you say is a cheeseburger fetish?
Well, this will creep a lot of people out, but this is what a cheeseburger fetish is. Going to McDonald's or any other restaurant to watch an attractive young girl eat a cheeseburger. And, at the time, we didn't have camera phones or anything, or gadgets. I had a camcorder, and I would record girls, secretly, eating cheeseburgers. Very creepy, of course. And I would record them eating a burger and go home, and maybe this may be a bit too much information, but I would definitely masturbate to it. You know what I mean? And that's what a cheeseburger fetish is just watching an attractive girl eat a cheeseburger. You know what I mean? Watching her swallow that burger, looking at that throat, wishing that meat was your meat almost. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was due to Ashley. You know, I was actually afraid to approach her and tell her how much I admired her beauty and her teeth, you know. And I just said it one time. I just kind of just were in the middle of this conversation about SIDE, how strange we find most of the people there. And, you know, I just said it out of nowhere. I said, I really like your teeth. Your teeth are really, 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 really good. Then I just left. You know what I mean? And the next day she approaches me. She says, John Carter. John Carter. I say, yes, Ashley. She said, I really thought about what you said, and I cried myself tears of joy and went to sleep. Um, the fact that you admire something that people have made fun of me for my whole life, you know, fuck. One moment. My apologies. As I was saying, she was just very, you know, intrigued, and people made fun of her whole life. She starts crying, and you know what I mean, and you know, she just says, John Carter, that really meant a lot to me, you know, and you know, she gave me big hug, big hug, and we became an item from that point on. What I liked about her was her personality. You know what I mean? She was awkward but sweet. Oh, excuse me, awkward but sweet. You know what I mean? And I challenged anybody that made fun of her for her looks. You know what I mean? And I would, let me tell you, Saya, I would get into fights with many different people. Many. At one point, I even almost got into a fight with Dad. Oh, really? Sorry that my voice has changed again. I'm sick. But, John Carter. So, going back, what gave you, how did you get the name John Carter the Pirate Ship? You know, again, SIDE was out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Everybody just kind of got chosen to be a part of this thing, and, you know, they said come up with something, you know, and they showed me my wrestling gear, cause I knew my wrestling gear before I knew my name, and it was just like 19 or 1800s kind of, you know, I don't know, like a swordsman, almost medieval kind of gear. Actually, is what I'm trying to say. And you know, it just reminded me of a guy on a pirate ship. And instead of calling myself John Carter the Pirate, I accidentally said ship at the end, and they capped it. And you know, I guess they were pressed for time because they didn't give us our name. We had to come up with our own name. You know what I mean? In SIDE. And it was just really an accident. It was like, come on, man, you gotta hurry up, man. What's your name? I'm like, John Carter the Pirate Ship. Shit. You know what I mean? And then they were like, oh, John Carter the Pirate Ship. Shit. Oh, we can't curse on TV. Okay, John Carter the Pirate Ship. Whatever. You know? And that's how I came up with my name. You know? And they really liked my name. For whatever reason, and they used that, and you know, I was a part of the Dead Nation, and I guess my character was like a medieval swordsman that was on a pirate boat that's like, you know, still exists in the 90s, and now I'm hunting the 90s along with my partner Dead. And you know, our chemistry was good. Chemistry was real good. Continuing on with your relationship with Ashley,
You said you had to fight.
Yes. Various times. Various people. Various.
Now, talk about some of your physical altercations with the said woman.
Well, Flamingo, 90% legend in XTV. I remember one time he was like, "Oh shit, it's a dead pirate and a buck-toothed bitch. Run for your lives. Run for your lives, niggas." Excuse my language, I'm not trying to offend. And I just really got pissed. I said, hey, what are you talking like that for? He's like, man, what the fuck accent is that? Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. I approach him and I say, Saya, don't disrespect me or my woman. He says, fuck you and your woman. And that's when we get into a fight. And it got pretty bad. You know what I mean? I broke 3 ribs. My hand was destroyed. Couldn't masturbate to burgers for a week. And I was quite in pain. But Ashley stayed there with me. And that was the first fight I had. I lost. You know what I mean? But Ashley said she still respected me for fighting for her, even though I lost. You know what I mean? And that was in the process of a storyline with Flamingo and Dead. You know what I mean? But it was going to eventually be myself and Flamingo. But, after that altercation, they decided to not do me and him because there was so much heat between us. I did not like him at that point. You know what I mean? He was always playing music super loud. You know what I mean? And I just got tired of hearing Tupac wonder why they call you a bitch. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, it's 2 a.m. Do you wonder why they tell you to turn that shit off or something? And just got on my nerves after a while.
Excuse me, Saya. What would you like?
Yes. Water, please.
Thanks. Now, John Carter, during the height of the Dead Nation, you remained just a sidekick. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, a sidekick.
But you were still put in the main event spotlight. I think later on you became a manager of Dead. What changes would you say happened during the course of time?
The changes that would happen is, let's see, boredom. I just got tired of playing second fiddle to a very great character. I'm going to always respect Dad. I think Dad is the top 3 XTV West stars of all time. However, the storyline it just became repetition. It's like Dad versus Flamingo. John Carter, the pirate ship's his manager. Oh, he's his tag team partner this match, but he's his manager next week. Tag team partner this match, manager next week. And I didn't complain too much. The check was good. The main event checks was always super big, but it was just so boring. You know what I mean? It's like a security guard that works at Walmart from 5 to 5 in the morning, just standing there. You know what I mean? That's how it was after a while, and it got quite boring. You know what I mean? And I was so tired of it, and SIDE eventually, the fans lost interest, and the movies were what was what kind of knocked SIDE out of business. And, Ashley was still, like, relatively young. We're still going together. And, she got pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yes. She eventually had it aborted. And she just never told me that she was going to do that. And she never said why. I didn't understand why she did it, still to this day. But she did it, and that left a damper in our relationship for quite some time. But we just stopped talking, and after a while, I don't know, I just couldn't talk to her. I used to ask her about it all the time, and she just was just like, just don't ask. And I'm like, what's going on?
Do you think maybe she felt insecure because your senior at the time was in your 30s?
Yes, sir.
And was she just turning 18 or was she 15?
15 years old, sire.
Wow. Whoa. That's a big difference. A lot of people would call that pedophilia, is what they'll call it. I don't condone that. But, at the time, me and Ashley, we just were, I don't know, it was weird. On top of that, she did lie about her age. You know what I mean? I didn't find that out till years later. But that's just what it was. She lies about her age, and I just, you gotta understand, we just loved each other. We never met each other's families. We just loved each other, you know what I mean? It was just about us, But after a while, like I said, when that situation happened, it kind of slapped me in the face, like, oh, shit, this girl's, nah, you know what I mean? And, we were on and off. We never argued, but we were on and off like crazy. You know what I mean? And eventually SIDE later on folds, and life for me was tough. And why would you say it was tough, John Carter?
Everybody knew me as being second fiddle to Dead. Everybody knew me as that. So that I was typecast, and I probably was on Raw, and I probably was in CAW for a very brief time, but overall I didn't have steady work, and I became homeless, and my dad passed, and my mom as well, old age, and they left me the house, the money and everything, but we were like, the house was behind on mortgage and all kind of different things. It eventually foreclosed and all kind of things I wasn't ready for. And as a result, I became homeless, for quite some time, from I'll say 2002 to February 2007. It was really tough. You know what I mean?
Was there anybody that noticed you in the street, John Carter, being that you were on TV with Dead?
No. When SIDE ended, the legacy of SIDE ended. You see, what killed SIDE was the movies. They were so much better because they weren't the same thing over and over.
Water, sir.
Yes. Please delete that part. Yeah, it's just that it was just like that. Word.
So,
Oh, no, no, no. Like, Action 1 was not like Action 2. Hell yeah, each episode was different. You know what I mean? And SIDE did the same thing. The fans wanted something new. The movies provided that. HY provided that. Pain provided that. As a result, that made SIDE fold. You know what I mean? And nobody really remembers a lot of the storylines outside of Dead and Flamingo because they were the main driving force. And, even the Motorcycle Gang and, Too Hot. But other than that, SIDE is a forgotten legacy. And it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Because it was different and it was the first. But, it wasn't a lot of people that noticed me. It was people talking about Pain and all that. And, I felt some kind of ways. But if I didn't make money, panhandling and, doing whatever I was doing, I would just sit back and just, reminisce over when times were good, you know what I mean? And just how bad they got. And when I would do that, I started picking up drinking a little bit, you know what I mean? But I went to church. And I started going there in 2005. And when I did that, life was just changing, you know what I mean? And I seen things, getting better, you know what I'm saying? And finally I get offered to come to XTV, you know what I mean? They were doing SmackDown vs. Raw 06. And my performance wasn't that good. And why would you say that? Well, this was a different era, you know what I mean? It was more so about the technical wrestling. And I was more of a just big man, smash mouth type of guy, you know what I mean? And that wasn't my league. That wasn't where I fit. And as a result, I kind of got, I did get to reunite with Dead after a while, you know what I mean? And, he was way weird now. Way weird. It was like, I don't know what this is, but it's not of God. It's like, nah, you worship the devil. I can tell in your eyes. So, it was cool to come back and I would be there for like, I'll say maybe 6 months before, I just kind of just sat back and, I became a taxi driver and now I own real estate. I'm a real estate agent and, I teach kids about the wrestling business, the good and bad now, and, So, how do you feel about your legacy? It was great for what it was. Although I got bored in SIDE, I still wish I would have stuck around, And I just wish I would have stuck around in XTV instead of just, whatever, But now I just own real estate and I love it. It's fun. You know what I mean? But other than that, I think what I got planned for the future, my son is now into wrestling. Oh, really? Really? John Carter Jr. is into wrestling. And whenever we get the new game, I've showed him a few things. He's learned a few things on his own. And, we're going to hopefully see what he can do. Well, that's great, John Carter, the pirate ship. If any of you fans have any questions or don't like this, just feel free to tell us what we need to do better on. This was out of nowhere recording because the computer is acting like a piece of shit at the moment. But thank you for tuning in. This has been Why the Fuck Is My Computer Not Working?